Hello, Connections. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Mike Swigert. Many of you probably saw me speak at the last Connections meeting. What we do is a lot of outreach campaigns. And what I did was I put together a quick training that should help you with effective deal flow, the strategies that we use. I thought I'd share some of the best strategies with you that you can actually implement in your company, inside with your marketing teams, and with whoever's managing your outreach. Let me go into this. So what I want you to do is kind of record this, keep this really, really simple and easily accessible for you and your team. And there's a lot of great notes in here. I'll try to go through it quickly, but what I want you to be able to do is go back to this and see some of the screens that you can go back, because I'm not going to read it. This is not going to be death by PowerPoint. But what we're talking about is what's working right now to start conversations with your prospects, restarting conversations with maybe some cold prospects, and identifying on how to grow more prospects. So before we go too deep into this, let me just go in, and it's all about getting into the races. When I sold for Hayworth, it was always about at bats. I always feel like the more races you're in, the more chances you have to win, and hopefully you have a really good horse. So just before we go any further, if you are really comfortable with exactly where you guys are as a company, if you're not interested in learning anything new, just go ahead and turn this off, because this is all about strategies that will help you grow and communicate. These aren't hard strategies, but they do have to be done to work, and they have to be automated. They have to be literally just implemented and automated. If that's not something you're interested in doing, please just don't waste your time, because I'm going to spend about 10 minutes kind of going into some next level stuff. And that's what we're going to cover here. Okay. If you have seen me talk, I've written a couple of books, written books on LinkedIn, email outreach, Amazon bestseller. I have sold GE, Hayworth, Herman Miller. I've sold a lot of very large projects, 6 million, even into some larger 8-figure projects that I've sold in my time in sales. But I've also sold a lot of day-to-day jobs. I really do my best to, identify a client, find out what the problem is, and hopefully have a solution that specifically addresses that problem. So I'm going to go over a couple of recent trends that have happened here in the last couple of years. Again, this is one of those times where y'all can go back and kind of look at these trends pages. So this hybrid sales model, you guys are probably hearing a lot about a hybrid workplace, but we're also hearing a lot about hybrid sales. The top of funnel now is being hybridized, and a lot of our outreach and communication sort of steps 10, 9, 8, and 7. A lot of that is happening through automation and outreach, where normally that's all done super traditionally. I'm 50. I've been in sales for a very, very long time, way before the internet. And yes, a lot of it was, I've had jobs where I've knocked on doors, or I've just gone on elevators and, checked on people and just introduced myself. Well, now a lot of that early part can be done in this hybrid model. So be thinking about how you can integrate a hybrid model into what you're doing. The blogs, infographics, but video. I can't tell you enough. What you guys are looking at right now is basically a communication video, trending in this direction. Video is very, very, very powerful. Video will, if done properly, I have to put a qualify there. Video, if done properly, will definitely impact your bottom line. If you're creating great pieces of content that solve a problem that your client can get to, you are going to be very, very, very successful. So watch what we're doing here. Keep watching. We'll talk about some more stuff. When it comes to content strategy, we're seeing more and more investments in content strategy. Guys, because of Zoom, because of this format that I'm recording this in right now, this has gotten to be so much more accessible, and it's not expensive. Like, you can literally probably brainstorm, some great ideas that the problems that you solve, that you can communicate for your audience, and start talking to people about that. Do that and do it often. Okay, guys. All right. So next one here. when it comes to email automation campaigns, really, it's not hard, guys. There's so many inexpensive softwares out there. There's so many great subcontractors you can hire to help keep your automation going. Do it. You have to. It definitely keeps going. This is the key to one of the greatest keys you could possibly do. If you didn't watch anything after what I'm talking about right now, remember this. It says it right here. The first vendor to reach a decision maker and set the buying vision has a 74% close ratio. 3 out of 4 times you're closing it if you're first there and you help the client walk them through what the buying vision is. You understand that when you're the first one, not getting there after the other guys. So when you manage the narrative, when you're the one who has established yourself as someone that solves a problem and helps them get to the next level, your odds of winning that job, it doesn't matter if it's a 3-bid project. You're the first one there. You're going to be the first one to get the opportunity to win the project. So the real goal is kind of just help you with your deal flow. Because I think if you know that anybody that's been in sales a long time, you tend to get going and you wonder why you keep running into walls. Why are you running into walls? Well, because we're not thinking about deal flow. We're not thinking about the 3 main ways of getting business: traffic, pitch, and convert. What is your traffic source? Years go by. It may have been trade shows. It may have been a milk route, knocking on doors and showing up. Are you getting enough pitches? Are you getting in the race? Are you getting it to bat as much as you want? And are you converting? Really, if you just break it down into TPC, traffic, pitch, and convert, you'll be in a lot better place. So what has consistently happened, going back to this, is unpredictable. And I'm trying to get you to a point of consistency. Okay. So I'm, again, being in sales for 3 decades. Now, I guess this is probably my 4th decade in sales. We go through those seasons of sales. You get really excited. You do a bunch of prospecting. You get a bunch of cool pitches. You close some deals. You onboard the client. You walk them through. You do the punch walk, everything like that. You got all these punches going. And all of a sudden, you look at your pipeline and it does not look good. And you wonder why you had a horrible quarter. And then you work your way up again and you prospect, you present, you get a bunch of pitches, you close some deals, you do get everything installed, do all your job, everything's great, and punch, blah, 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 get the check and your pipeline. So that's why the hybrid model makes so much sense, is because I don't want you to stop doing that, but I want the top of funnel communication to happen to a point where you're not relying 100% on your traditional way of doing it. You can actually rely on other communication starters from other ways. So the 3 secrets for reliable deal flow: really, automated traffic, multiple pitch options, we'll go into that, and conversion. If I have to teach you really about your conversion point, we're probably gonna have some trouble, because you've got to be able to convert. Once somebody's finally able to decide to pick you and actually close them, that's always going to be a personal transfer of trust. But the top 2, when it comes to automated traffic and some multiple pitch options, we can hybridize some of that. So let's go to the fundamentals. This is really another great screenshot for you to grab. Put this one up. A lot of people, especially now that we're hopefully post shutdowns. 1, identify your ideal client. Who is that ideal client? Who is that person that you love to serve? You love to solve. What is that vertical? Get very granular of what that is. And then build a list of those people in your market that you can serve well. You understand it. Identify who that person is that you love, and then build a list around those demographics, right? And you can do that, guys. There's great software out there. Zoom Info is one that we use a lot. I think that's one of the better ones. There's other places. There's list buying you can buy, but remember, whenever you do a list, make sure you run it through a validation service also. But get the communication. So the fundamentals: identify, build, and then communicate. Send it out. Get your emails out, your newsletter out. You can do text messaging, you can do phone messaging, voice messaging, whatever makes sense for your audience. You don't want to annoy people, but you also want to let them know you're there. and then send them to the next step of your funnel. That's what we do here, guys. Okay. So number one, secret number one, automated traffic. Automated traffic. Now, automated traffic could be you telling your sales guys, hey guys, I need you to go see 10 new clients every single week. Or I want you guys, whatever that is, you can automate that with your physical sales team. But also, hey guys, I need you to grab 10 new prospects and put them into our automation program, right? It's got to be a combination of automating traditional, digital, and it has to be repeatable and accountable. I probably should have that one on there too. Multiple pitch options. In this connections world, guys, we're thinking about what's the next step? What do you want them to do as we go through this, right? When we think about what's happening here on email, newsletter, text, phone, like, where do you want them to go? You don't want them just to be like, it's just not a basic billboard without a call to action. You've got to say to yourself, well, where are we sending them? Do you want them to come into your showroom? Do you want them to set up a call with your salesperson? Do you want them to go to a webinar? Do you want them to go to an educational piece? Do you want them, think about, is there a virtual tour of your space? These are the things that you've got to be thinking about. So you've identified them. You've put together this messaging. Now we're actually saying, okay, well, here's where we're going to touch them and we want to send them to here. So understand that we've got to have multiple pitch options because that's where traffic is going. We're sending them to landing pages. That's what you're on right now. You're on a landing page / webinar. Do you want to send them into your showroom to schedule a tour? Do you want them to just go to your main website and then you're confident in your main website to help convert them? Or do you want to get them on a phone call with your sales team? That's what we want to do. Landing pages, guys, all kinds of great ways to do it. You could talk to your web guy on how to do it, say landing page, and then say, I want a converting landing page. I want one that's going to drive them to an education piece. Maybe it's PDFs, maybe it's a budgeting tool, maybe it's an estimating tool, but you've got to know where the next step is. Let's not just make it a dead end where they're just going up the alley and there's no way out. We want them to go down the street that's taking them to the next step in your clear funnel. Okay, guys. This was probably a bad thing 3 years ago. Hey, here's my calendar link, jump on. And that might rub some people the wrong way still. It has been so much more accepted, especially with the under 50 group. They're very comfortable with jumping on a calendar, doing it. What's great about that is there's a lot of assurances that happen. You can really make sure that there's clear reminders and rescheduling when you do it on a calendar tool. We use Calendly a lot. That's a great tool to use, very inexpensive, and you could use that and implement that very, very, very quickly. Step 3, or the secret 3, is the conversion. And conversion is when you've walked the client through the clear buyer's journey. You've been in business long enough. You understand what the nurturing sequence is. You understand that when they've done the tour, you understand that you're ready to go like, hey, are you guys ready to place an order? Hey, can we sit down? Would you like to talk about some discounts? I love, we've got, seems to be some prices coming up in January. I'd love to lock you guys down in 2020 pricing or however you want to do it. Let's sit down and talk about it. That's converting them from not knowing who you are to liking you, to starting to trust you, to actually wanting to do a transaction with you. So guys, I'm winding this down. You got 2 choices. You can implement all of this with your team. You can totally implement all of this. Get your landing pages, identify audience, get your list, start your outreach, do your newsletters, do all of these things, do them intelligently as you've mapped out your entire client journey. You can call me. I love talking to you guys. I'm a huge fan of Connections. I'm a huge fan. I'll probably be speaking next year at the next conference. Call me. I will talk to you about this stuff and I won't pitch you. I'm not here to pitch you. I'm literally just here to call and strategize with you. If there is a solution that we have for you, I will 100% offer it to you. But like, if it's not a fit and if it's not a no-brainer, well, then let's not do it. But let's try to solve a real problem that you have that we can help you kind of get unstuck. If there's something that you have a challenge with, it's something that's really, you're having a hard time wrapping your head around. We do it all day long. Hundreds of thousands of emails a day is what we send out. So, and yeah, here's my, my awesome guarantee. If we do a call together, during your free call, I will charge you nothing. So if you guys have, any other questions, and there's anything you ever want to just talk about, and really you just want to chat about marketing and strategy and sort of verbiage on how to get people to reach out and connect with you, reach out to me. And there's a link, calendar right below. And I look forward to talking to you. Thanks. Bye.